Oh, sorry. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining the show. Today is the 29th of July, 2026. And I want to say thank you very much for joining the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Aldo Moore, and it's always a pleasure to come your way. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, except to say that we were hit by some very, very terrible power outage, and that has affected quite a number of things. For instance, the papers are not out. If you talk to a lot of the media houses, they'll tell you that they didn't get all the papers that they expected to be reviewed, and we are facing the same problem here. We're lucky to have just 2 papers coming out. For some reason, the lights just went off. It must have been after 3 a.m. or something. I mean, we just saw total darkness everywhere. I looked through my window and I couldn't find one household which had a light. Lights switched on, and I kept asking, what's the problem? Which was around 3:30 a.m. thereabout. Now, Gridco has issued a statement. We'll read to you what exactly was contained in that statement. But it was frightening, really. It was, and a lot of machines have had to adversely affected, etc. And so, but thank God we're here. Anyway, so once again, I'm saying. Thank you very much for tuning into the show. The show is also live on 94.1 FM. The Good Morning Ghana program, or the show, is brought to you by Metro Digital with a kind sponsorship and supported by AH Cafe, sumptuous meals at affordable prices. So, as I did say, we just have 2 papers here, and I'll just run you through those papers quickly, and then I can bring in my guest. We can kickstart our conversation for the day. So I have the custodian here with me. The custodian says that banks lending not translating into economic gains, according to CPS, which is a policy think tank. There's chiefs invoke day testified Galamsey as government fails to act, and there's Goldfields fight to retain Takwa mine lease. There's jobless economic growth means. Now, jobless economic growth means nothing to Ghanaian youth, according to Gideon Boakon. And also, the News Center says the CPS exposes major inconsistencies in mid-year budget data. There's nearly 2 million Ghanaian youth idle, GSS, that's the Ghana Statistical Service. There's Nessie trainees accuse police of brutalities during demo. There's Giadek Ibrahim Muhammad deny Valco takeover. But what is the way forward for the $600 million investment required if workers are opposed to strategic investor? Well, Avizaku has done a brilliant, fantastic analysis on this matter. Maybe at some point in the show we'll look at it. Because there are 2 schools of thought, depending on which this economic philosophy or as a development paradigm you belong to. There's some who say they don't need anybody. We can fix the problems internally. There are some loopholes and some leakages we need to plug, and we'll be good to go. There's some who say that, look, it doesn't matter it doesn't matter what you think. We need somebody to come there and invest some money into Valco. So the debate would continue. We'll see. Maybe at some point we'll look at that. We'll look at that story. If you go to Metro TV online, there's a sports minister pledges government's full support to Black Queens ahead of WAFCON opener. Gridco investigates Wednesday morning nationwide power outage. There's Black Satellites return to training shift focus to Burkina Faso clash, and there's FDA seizes contaminated fish at Tema New Town. Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr. is former managing editor of the Insight newspaper. He's with us this morning. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for joining us on the show, sir. Okay, right. So let's rather take a break. And after the break, I'll bring in my guest. So stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television.
And there they are. The squad is ready, lined up, ice cold, focused and prepared for national duty. Every bottle in position, every label shining with confidence. And here comes the selection. One bottle steps forward, picked from the squad, ready to deliver for Ghana. He takes the first sip. Oh yes, refreshingly hydrating. The whistle goes. The Black Stars are on the move. He breaks through the defense like flowing water. Beautiful control. He lines it up. He strikes. Goal! Ghana is awake. From the fridge to the field, Awake keeps you refreshed. Awake purified drinking water. One for life. Proudly supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits, happy smile.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Femi Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Femi once now.
Hey, that's you. Impruka. Yeah. Captain was key to double the action. Maybe this Sasso spray. Mr. Femi Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso. Come on, Tom Preko.
Ghana for the second World Cup running, the only Africans left standing.
Was getting a number of good ones. We could take close to 200 doctors. Oh, Piazza Nampi, Jaja challenge today, the jackpot deal. We did live.
He's in the area. He's gone.
Oh,
It's the Wolaki World Cup Sikapuduo promo. Every 11th June, Kosi 31st July 2026. Play and win your share of the 1 million Ghana City jackpot with a minimum stake of just 10 Ghana Cities. 20 lucky customers go win their share of the 20,000 Ghana Cities daily jackpot. Top 10 agents go chop bonus every weekend. Kanawa Wolaki app, Wolaki website. Wo agent who are now dialing *288#. Wolaki World Cup Sikapuduo. Kakiti wane dikes, yeah.
Auntie, one man no chopo. Blow beard your mama.
Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly. Not for persons under 18. Licensed and regulated by the NLA.
Play small, win big.
Good day, fellow Ghanaians. Dr. Adelaide Arobasi Ejafon is my name. Executive Director of the Jospon Group of Companies and the CEO of the African Agribusiness Consortium. By the grace of God, after several years of contributing significantly to Ghana's sanitation and waste management transformation, the Jospon Group made another bold decision a few years ago to support the transformation of Ghana's agriculture sector. As we became more involved in the agriculture sector, we realized that although Ghana has enormous agricultural potential, transforming the sector would require the active participation of a new generation of skilled and passionate young people. That is why, in partnership with the People's Friendship University of Russia, Rodin University, we sponsored 118 young Ghanaians to pursue postgraduate studies in agriculture and environmental sciences. Our goal was to prepare young professionals who will help drive Ghana's agricultural transformation. In about 2 weeks' time, these graduates will return home. They are coming back with knowledge, skills, and fresh ideas, and we are proud to welcome them home. I believe their success will not only benefit as individuals, but will also contribute to the growth of our agriculture sector and the development of our country. I wish to express my sincere appreciation to the People's Friendship University of Russia, Rodin University, for being a valued partner in this journey, and to the Embassy of Ghana in the Russia Federation for its unwavering support and commitment to the welfare of our students throughout their studies. Thank you very much. God bless you, and God bless our homeland, Ghana.
You're welcome to, well, not welcome, but you're still watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My guests are here, and we'll kickstart our conversation now. But before that, let me bring you this, but I will actually bring you this. Let me just say that Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr., as I did indicate, is a former managing editor of the Inside newspaper, a veteran seasoned journalist, is an elderly statesman as well. Good morning, sir. Once again, thanks for joining us on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. It's always a pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Collins Adomako Mensah is MP for the Fijakwa North constituency and also a former Deputy Minister for Energy. Good morning, bro.
Morning.
Always good to see you. Always good
Happy
to see
be
you.
Here.
My sincere apologies. I've promised you several times that I will do something, haven't done it yet. With the Fachemi.
No problem.
Something always keeps coming up, but like we say it in Pidgin, it will happen.
You're forgiven.
Sooner rather than later. You know, but before I get your thoughts on this, I mean, I'm sure that we're all aware of what happened at the wee hours of today. I mean, lights just went off. We're not sure exactly what happened. And then we woke up this morning of seeing this statement by GRIDCO. So I'll read it, and then I can just pick your brief thoughts before we move to the more substantive issues for the day. Now, the Ghana GRIDCO Limited said it has begun investigations into or let me just read the statement itself, not the story. So immediate release, Tema, 29 July 2026, the Ghana Grid Company Limited, GRIDCO, wishes to inform the general public that a national interconnected transmission system experienced power system disturbance at approximately 3:11 a.m. on Wednesday, 29 July 2026. The disturbance resulted in the simultaneous tripping of some generating plants across the national power system, leading to interruption of electricity supply. GRIDCO has activated its established system restoration procedures. Our engineers and system operators are working continuously in close collaboration with power sector stakeholders to restore power within the shortest possible time without compromising safety. At the same time, a comprehensive technical investigations has commenced to determine the precise cause of this system event. Yeah, because it's not very normal, is it? It's not normal at all. Anyway. GRIDCO sincerely apologizes for the inconvenience and appreciates the patience and understanding of the public during this period. We remain fully committed to restoring supply to all affected customers as quickly as safety as possible, and will provide further update as more information becomes available. Collins, I mean, for somebody who was played in that sector before as a deputy energy minister, what information have you also been picking? What exactly could have possibly gone wrong?
Well, good morning to yourself and to my uncle Kwesi,
yes,
and to our viewers. I mean, when it happens like that, you can imagine what the minister and his team
are going through.
Will be going through. I recall during my days at the ministry, we had a platform, and each morning we updated as to how much generation capacity we have and all that. And immediately I get up in the morning. I mean, when I pick my phone, I'm just praying that the data will be a favorable data, and that we don't have any load shedding and all that. It's a very difficult morning all the time as a minister, and to wake up in the morning and to be told that almost the entire country has gone off because of a major fault at GridCo. You can imagine what the minister and his team will be going through. And it's happened at 3. It's almost 8 p.m. 8 a.m. now, yes, which means for the past 5 hours, they are still working. That should be, I'm just hoping that it's not a very, very, very major issue. Because GridCo normally would take less than an hour or two to fix their system, to bring it back to normalcy. So it's been 5 hours, and they've not been able to turn things around.
Means that there's cause for concern.
That's the point I'm making. After 5 hours, everybody should be a little bit concerned.
In fact, we're working the lines to get through to the GridCo PRO to just speak to us briefly.
I'm not too sure if at this particular point in time,
to speak to the media.
He'll be briefed with all the facts to speak to the media. I'm sure by now, everybody, all hands on deck now to ensure that they bring the system back. It's not very normal with GridCo. Yes, we can have some trips here and there. I've been to the Tema substation that you're talking about, the interconnected station. One as a minister and also as a member of the Energy Committee. We had a visit to the place. And I can tell you, these are very, very dedicated Ghanaians. Very, very intelligent engineers. Look at what happened at Akosombo. The fire that gutted the Akosombo station. Within a week or two, they've been able to bring back all the 1,000 megawatts. So they are very serious and very dedicated. Last time I went there, I told them that there are things they do that most Ghanaians don't see. But these are people who stay up all night just to keep our industries working, just to keep our offices running and all that. So they are heroes in their own right. And I think one of the statements has indicated that they are working. I just hope that everything will be brought to a close very soon. 5 hours for GridCo is quite strange. But we must understand that these are machines. Anything could happen. I'm not too sure anybody anticipated such a trip. But they have their protocols whenever there's this kind of issue. And I'm sure by now, as the statement said, they've activated those ones. The only concern, as I said, is the 5 hours, which is not very normal with GridCo, because they normally would have kicked in their alternate solution. So let's hope that things will be brought back before it gets out of hand. 5 hours is quite a long time.
But it also speaks to how vulnerable we are when it comes to electricity provision. How vulnerable, like anything can happen.
Well, I'm not too sure. I'll prefer to use the word vulnerable. This can happen to even in an advanced country.
Advanced countries,
yeah. You can have such major incidents, GridCo over the years have demonstrated very high competence, and I can attest to that.
Despite their underfunding.
Yes, despite their many challenges. Very dedicated engineers, very well trained Ghanaians, and they've managed the system all this while. I don't think we should be too hard on them on this particular incident. As I said, I'm not too sure they anticipated this, and I am of the firm opinion that in the shortest possible time, they should be able to bring all of us back, especially when people are now getting up to go to work, industries are now beginning to work, and all that. When the lights goes off, it has its own implications. This one, I'm sure there's a barber somewhere in my constituency.
The newspapers, of course, the newsstands,
yes,
the newspapers couldn't work, and so most of them are not how they understand.
I'm sure there are some hairdressers somewhere.
Yes,
there are some cold store owners somewhere who, for this unfortunate incident, will have to resort to other means to power their.
If you're driving an EV and you're hoping to charge it for a certain number of hours, you can't use the car.
As you know, most of the generators too are powered by diesel. And the current prices on the diesel
is a bit high.
And the pump too is a little bit high. So obviously it's going to cause some frustration amongst the general public. But let's keep them in our prayers. They are heroes. I always call them heroes. And I'm sure they'll do the needful.
Okay. Oh.
Well, I mean, I heard you read the GRIDCO
statement, yes.
And one of the things I was looking for was the areas covered by this blackout. And the statement was silent on that.
Yes.
So we're all wondering whether it's just an Accra phenomenon or that it spreads to other parts of the country. From the contacts that I've made, I'm sure that this blackout stretches all the way down from Mampong, Akuapem. It could go further.
But
from the
Ashanti
information
region
that I have.
Ashanti region is down.
Okay.
I've also heard others from Tamale who have also reported some
So
issues.
it is possible that it's a nationwide blackout.
Indeed it is.
Okay. So I'm just wondering why the GRIDCO statement did not give us the full extent, of this blackout. If it's a nationwide blackout, it's even more troubling. Okay. Now, as we sit here, there's no indication of the cause of this blackout. It could be just a technical problem. It could be the result of carelessness or recklessness. It could be the result of sabotage.
Yes.
It can be anything. We don't know. We can't comment. So all we can say is that whatever the cause is, that some efforts are made as quickly as possible to restore electricity. Because, look, everything hinges on the supply of electricity. I mean, my brother Collins is talking about barbers and hairdressers and so on. That's not the problem. People could die as a result of this.
Yeah.
People whose life depends on ventilators could die as a result of this. And these days, even here when we came this morning, it took a while to kickstart the generator. It took quite a while. Imagine that there was a clinic or hospital here and somebody was in a critical condition. That person could have died.
Easily,
So electricity supply has become so critical to the preservation of not just human life, but the entire national life. I think we ought to do some more serious things to keep the lights on. Accidents are inevitable. There are technical faults which we cannot anticipate or may not be able to anticipate. But whatever it is, we need to do everything possible to keep the lights on all the time, because it's so vital, for our very survival. I also appreciate the point which the Honourable Member of Parliament has already made about how hardworking these engineers and so on at GRIDCO are. And, we need to appreciate the hard work of all of them, all the people in all the sectors who struggle against odds to keep us alive, who struggle against odds to keep systems running and so on. So, what can we say?
Right.
Just to hope and wish that the engineers, all the people on the ground would do the needful and ensure that the lights come on as quickly as possible. I mean, Honorable reminded me of some time ago when the water level of Akosombo went down.
Yes.
And the nation was faced with very a very severe threat.
But we prayed.
Of blackout.
We prayed.
And you had all these, your bishops and archbishops going to stand over the Akosombo Lake to pray. And God didn't listen to them. You know. And this morning, Honorable is offering prayers for those who are working on this blackout. I hope that unlike the archbishops and bishops, God will listen to you. I don't know what the magic is. But even when the archbishops went to pray, nothing happened.
Yeah. Oh, crazy. How is he?
Yes, sir.
What does this mean?
Oh, that's what it means. You know, I mean, we had power crisis before, and we had all of this cassock wearing, head covered archbishops speaking in tongues and so on, some speaking in ordinary language, who took to Akosombo, stood over the dam and offered prayers.
Right.
And God refused to listen to them. Now we have a blackout, and the Honorable Member of Parliament, whom I'm sure does not speak in tongues,
yes,
who I'm sure perhaps has not been to heaven and back, as some bishops crave, you know, and so on. He's offering prayers.
Okay.
And I'm wondering whether, if God did not listen to the archbishops, the cassock-wearing archbishops, he would listen to the Honorable Member of Parliament. I don't know. Just hoping that God will listen to him.
Well, Honorable is a very religious man.
So he's religiously more powerful than the cassock-wearing archbishops.
You never know.
Oh, okay. Master, no problem.
Oh, I'll go see. All right. So Collins, I know we spent a bit of time looking at the budget, the media budget review, which was presented by the Honorable Finance Minister, Dr. Kessel Ato-Forson, because the law says he should do so. So he did just that, of course, for and on behalf of the President. You have described the presentation in different ways. Kwashiorkor, fiscal gymnastics, is, you know, talk plenty, do little. There's all kinds of, you know, adjectives that you've used to describe with the presentation and also the content of the budget. But we will spend some time on that. But there's an issue here which lies at the heart of our economy anyway. Because if we are able to get it right, the economy will benefit. And it has to do with VALCO. Back and forth. We're not too sure what to do with VALCO. You know, I mean, there's all kinds of proposals on the table. And it's not the first time this matter has come up. But it looks like the mention of the brother of the president and allegedly being interested in it. Of course, his aides have come out to say it is not true. And I don't have any reason to doubt what Rafiq Mahama has put out there by way of public information, and that Ibrahim Mahama has never expressed even any interest in acquiring shares of VALCO. But be that as it may, as for the issue about getting a strategic partner, as is being termed, to come take some stakes in VALCO is still a matter which is on the table. Okay. Now, Elvis Darko's News Center has done a comprehensive report, starting from the Ibrahim Mahama matter and the subsequent denial, you know, and ICU's stance on VALCO. They are saying, no, if you hive off any shares of VALCO to anybody, we will protest. We will not agree. And actually going back into history, what Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's vision for setting out VALCO was. Very, very interesting piece of article that is put out there on page 6 and 7. So I won't read everything because there's a lot, okay? But I'll nitpick. I'll basically cherry pick some portions of it. But I'll make sure that, you know, it all comes together and makes sense. So it says, GIADEC, Ibrahim Mahama denied VALCO takeover. But what is the way forward for the $600 million investment required if workers are opposed to strategic investor. Now, so the editor of the paper himself is the one who has authored this article. Now, it says, the controversy surrounding the proposed strategic investment process for the Volta Aluminium Company Limited, VALCO, has intensified, with the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, GIADEC, and businessman Mr. Ibrahim Mahama separately rejecting claims linking him to a planned acquisition of the state-owned aluminium smelter. Now, the two denials came after some workers of VALCO during a protest march in Tema alleged that Mr. Mahama was behind efforts to acquire the company. While GIADEC described the allegations as false, misleading, and without any factual foundation, Mr. Mahama also dismissed the claims as malicious and deliberately calculated to damage his reputation. Okay. Now, while GIADEC described the allegation as false, misleading, and without any factual foundation, okay, I've looked at it, sorry. So the development comes at a time when the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union, Ghana, has petitioned President Mahama to intervene and halt what it described as a proposed sale of a 70% equity stake in VALCO. The union argues that VALCO remains a strategic national asset and should remain under full state ownership. Okay, so they are implacably against it. Now, let's talk about the $600 million required to retrofit and modernize VALCO. Now, the estimated capital required to retrofit and modernize the smelter is about $600 million, a sum government cannot afford in the current macroeconomic environment. Under this structure, GIADEC would retain 49% shareholding. That's of course GIADEC, so that's Ghana, isn't it? While the investor would hold 51%. The performance-based partnership is designed to revive a strategic national asset and unlock Ghana's $48 billion bauxite potential. Now, VALCO's valuation stands at approximately $130 million, while the company carries total debts of about $450 million. Total debts.
That's nothing. In the industry, it's nothing.
Industry, okay. Now, beyond the immediate turnaround, GIADEC estimates that developing a world-class export-scale aluminium refinery will require $2.5 billion. Okay. Overall, the full integrated aluminium value chain is projected to demand investment of approximately $5 billion. Okay. Ghana is estimated to possess 920 million tons of bauxite deposits, conservatively valued at $48 billion. 6 mining leases have already been granted. The proposed investment would fund engineering, procurement, and construction of 1.5 to 2.5 million metric tons per annum alumina refinery, transforming domestic bauxite into high-value, alumina. GIADEC categorically denied reports suggesting that VALCO was being sold to Ibrahim. So it goes on and on. Ibrahim Ahmad, I've already talked about, so I'm not going to bother with that. Now, the ICU has formally petitioned President Mahama to stop what it describes as the proposed sale of 70% equity stake in VALCO. The petition was presented by ICU General Secretary Mr. Morgan Ayewene to the Tema Metropolitan Chief Executive Madam Ebi Bright after workers embarked on a protest march through major streets in Tema. The union argued that VALCO remains a strategic national asset and should continue to be owned by the state because of its importance to Ghana's industrial development agenda. And that information available to the union indicates that GIADEC is progressing with plans to transfer the 70% equity stake in VALCO to Arch Holdings Consortium. The union warned that such a transaction could permanently affect and alter the ownership structure and control of the company despite opposition from workers and organized labor. Now, they are encouraging the president on May Day not to remain silent when state-owned enterprises were being mismanaged because workers often suffer the consequences when such institutions collapse. So they are responding to what the president once said on May Day. Now, it goes on and on and on, and there's an appeal to organized labor to come on board and so on. Now, this is the background. So Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, identified the integrated aluminium industry as a key pillar of the country's industrialization agenda, with Ghana already operating a bauxite mine at Awaso. Nkrumah viewed Kaiser Aluminium proposal to establish an alumina refinery and VALCO smelter as a major step towards creating a complete aluminium value chain. The establishment of VALCO was also central to the development of the Volta River project, which led to the construction of the Kosombo hydroelectric dam. I recall that at some point, Mr. Kwesi Pratt briefly walked us through the history, but unfortunately he's here And they talk about jobs, export, and industrial growth if we keep VALCO and so on and so forth. They've given us all the reasons why we must keep VALCO and not sell some of its shares to anybody. Okay, see, you seem to have a lot of information as far as VALCO is concerned. I mean, share with us why, first of all, this whole matter has come up again. You know, about what to do with VALCO. We seem to be confused. Because government wants something, workers want something else. What's your take on this story?
Well, I mean, first of all, it is not true, cannot be true, that the country doesn't have a plan which would ensure the viability of VALCO. That's a false statement. Anybody who says that we don't know what to do is deliberately lying. We know what to do. Okay. Because if you go as far back as the Nkrumah era, if you look at the 7-year development plan of Nkrumah and so on, the plan for VALCO is clear. The plan to ensure that VALCO will become not just a viable entity, but also the bedrock on which Ghana's industrialization will sit is clear. There's no doubt at all about it. There's a plan. Anybody suggesting that there's no plan is either deliberately trying to confuse the public, or is up to some mischief.
Or is ignorant.
Well, if you're talking about VALCO, if you're involved in VALCO and so on, you must know that there's a plan.
Fair point.
You understand?
Fair point.
So for those who claim to be involved in VALCO, especially at the governmental level, if they claim ignorance of the history of VALCO, that would be most unfortunate. That's a plan. Now, there's no doubt at all that Nkrumah envisaged that it is only at the point of a fully integrated aluminium industry that VALCO can begin to make economic sense, can begin to impact on the industrialization program and so on, fully integrated aluminium industry. That's clear. Okay. So, that is clear. Now, the other thing which for me is most important is that this country is sitting on the raw material, bauxite. We are sitting on bauxite, raw material, untouched, valued at $48 billion.
That's huge.
Now, isn't it very, very strange that we are sitting on $48 billion and we are complaining that we don't have $6 million?
600 million.
600 million.
Yeah, $600 million. Fantastic. Thanks for the correction.
Yeah.
But very strange. You are sitting on $48 billion. It's in your soil. And you are complaining that, oh, we need 600 million, we can't find it. What's wrong with you? I mean, if you are this incompetent, excuse me, if you are this incompetent, if you are this useless, why are you anywhere near government assets? Why have we given our powers to you to manage our affairs? We are sitting on $48 billion and you're complaining about 600 million. Incredible. Okay? Now you're saying that we are sitting on $48 billion of raw materials. We are talking about an industry which potentially can become the backbone of our industrialization project and so on. And we are throwing our arms in despair and saying that, oh, you need an individual. A company is an individual, I suppose, you know, to come and give us $600 million and take 70% of the company. Are you crazy? Moro, are you crazy? Unbelievable. But this is the argument you are making. And then sometimes we create the impression that this is an ideological debate. There is no ideological debate. It is about common sense. Simple common sense. You understand? Now, you need $600 million in order to make Valco run and so on. That's what you need. Who says that the only means of generating $600 million is by giving 70% of the company to somebody, some company? You know, you have been a banker, you know. You can actually, on the basis of the viability of the enterprise, go to a bank.
And make a case.
Make a case and get $600 million, which would enable you to retrofit, buy equipment and so on, and you pay it as a loan. The Bank of Financial Institutions doesn't have to have shares in Valco to make you generate $600 million.
They will happily give you the money.
It is viable. The banks and financial institutions deal on the viability of the project.
Yeah.
Why? We know that we are sitting on $48 billion. What deal can't you make with a financial institution or a bank or something in order to save Valco? Why should you have to sell 70% of Valco to be able to generate 600 million? Peanuts compared to what we are sitting on. It doesn't make any sense at all. Sometimes I'm lost. Sometimes I wonder how public officials think. Well, sometimes I actually wonder whether they do any thinking at all. So this is the reality. Okay? Now, Moro. You see, the Valco project was so well thought out. And every step that has to be taken has already clearly been defined. You don't have to start thinking and so on. In fact, I got very highly interested in the Valco project when I had conversations with Mr. Atuahoy. He's been working on this integrated aluminum industry over a long period of time and has a clear understanding of what the industry needs to survive and so on. So I've had some conversations with him. I've also had some conversations with Professor Akila Kwasoya, who happened to have been the chair of the Volta River Authority at the time when there were problems with power supply, for the industry and so on. And it is clear that this is a viable project which we can run as Ghana. And we don't need any 70% shareholder to come and give us 600 million to run it. It doesn't make any sense at all. But Moro, look, since 1996, especially after 1982-83, we've made this argument that private sector involvement in the running of state enterprises is key to their survival. We've made that argument very strongly. Over the period, we privatized 400 state enterprises. More than 400 state enterprises were privatized. How many survived after privatization? How many? Can you count 6 who survived after privatization out of 400? So our history, our experience shows us that privatization is not necessarily a panacea for reviving state enterprises and making state enterprises play the role that they ought to play in the economy. I'll give you one example. You see, we privatized the Tema shipyard and dry dock. And I recall when President Mills became president of Ghana, the shipyard and dry dock was getting destroyed after privatization. And he was so alarmed that eventually President Mills had to take back the Tema shipyard and dry dock because privatization was killing it. That's one example. Go and check. The facts are available. You understand? We privatized Tema shipyard and dry dock under the same conditions, using the same useless arguments. President Mills had to take it back. You understand what I'm saying? So the history of privatization does not support this new level of recklessness that is leading us to the privatization of vital state assets. The history is against it. You understand? Now, recently, under President John Dramani Mahama, before President John Dramani Mahama was elected as president, in the last elections, Tema Oil Refinery, the sing-song was that it should be privatized. Privatization is the only way out. You need a strategic investor. You remember?
Yes.
After less than 2 years of the Mahama administration, the Tema Oil Refinery has been revamped and is doing excessively well. It's recording profits. It has started refining Ghana's own oil and so on. The record of the Tema Oil Refinery, still in the hands of the state, in spite of all the sing-song about privatizing it and so on, should serve as an example and a model for VALCO. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Look, we were jumping over ourselves about privatization of ECG and so on. In the last 18 months, 19 months of the Mahama administration, look at the figures in ECG. He knows better than me. The situation in ECG is improving. They are beginning to pay their debts and so on through worker participation in management. That whole argument about privatizing ECG is dying. Don't let us take that silly argument to VALCO. It will work. It has never worked. There is no sign that it's going to work. If you sit on $48 billion of raw materials and you begin to throw your hands in the air and so on, you are simply incompetent. You have no vision. You understand what I'm saying? So it's clear. There are a few things that worry me about VALCO. And I'm saying this for the first time. I recall that when President Mills assumed office, he was told that Ghana had bought back VALCO from Kaiser Aluminium.
Yes.
So President Mills was looking for the papers on the sale or the repurchase of VALCO or the purchase of VALCO.
The transaction.
The transaction.
Yeah, documents surrounding the transaction.
He couldn't find it.
Shocking.
He couldn't find one piece of paper.
How?
I'm telling you, you can check. President Mills couldn't find one piece of paper which affirmed that we had bought back VALCO. And I'm going to say something publicly. Now, I'm going to say something publicly. I knew that Charles Mensah, of the IEA, was at the center of the negotiations and so on. And he had been VALCO chairman for a very long time. So I approached Charles. I said, Charles, what is happening? I am told, I have information, that there's not a sheet of paper confirming that we have purchased VALCO. You, as chairman of VALCO, and you, as somebody who was involved in this negotiation, must have some idea about where the documentation is. You know what he told me? And Charles is still alive. He's probably even watching the show. What he told me that the documents were available in a law firm in London.
What?
Yes.
What's the document doing in London?
How would I know?
Wow.
How would I know? So if you run state enterprises this way, how do you expect them to strive and survive? So you deliberately run them aground and you deliberately turn around to come and buy it and own it and destroy it, strip it apart and destroy it, and have no regard for the national, interest. Look, all economists, from the right and from the left, agree on one thing. Neo-colonial economists like Ghana's can only make movements forward from industrialization. The sale of primary products and so on is taking us nowhere. We all agree on it. Now, the basis of industrialization, the foundation of industrialization is also being attacked and destroyed. So where does that leave us? Where does that leave us? You understand? So look, I am in full sympathy, not partial, full sympathy with the Public Utility Workers Union, with all the trade union movements which are expressing opposition to privatization. Their cause is legitimate, their cause is in the national interest, and we better listen to them. Because they've seen it all. Look, Massa, in 1983, 300,000 workers, and watch the figure, 300,000 workers lost their jobs as a result of the government embarking on the reckless path of neoliberalism. 300,000 workers lost their jobs. What does that mean for the trade unions? What does that mean for the trade unions? What does that do for the national economy? So, 300,000 workers lost their jobs because we decided to embark on this reckless path. My brother, you know, one of the major problems that VALCO faces has to do with the supply of power. He knows that better than me. One of the major problems that VALCO faces has to do with the supply of power. We have been depending on hydro, to supply VALCO with electricity. One, because hydro is relatively very cheap. The cost of generating hydro is about 2 to 3 cents per kilowatt. 2 to 3 cents.
Kilowatt hour, yeah.
Okay. Now, if you shift to thermal generation, the cost now is between 10 to about 50 cents.
Yes.
10 to about 50 cents, depending on how you do it and so on. Okay. So hydro was relatively cheaper, and it made a lot of sense to depend on hydro for high-consuming industries and so on. It made a lot of sense. But right now, as we speak, the Western countries are up in arms against the generation of power with coal.
Right.
But we know that the Chinese have developed a technology which is called clean coal.
Yeah.
Much, much cheaper, environmentally friendly, and so on. So if we have a problem with supplying the bauxite industry with power, why are we not looking at clean coal?
Right.
The clean coal technology which has been developed by China.
Yeah.
Why are we still fixated on thermal generation of power? Why are we still fixated even on the hydro generation of power, saying that, look, we don't have enough power for VALCO and so on? Why are we not beginning to look at clean coal as an alternative?
Yeah.
So, you see, Massa, sometimes you just get tired going over these things year after year, year after year, year after year, and policymakers are still not thinking. You get worried. Why are policymakers still not thinking?
Yeah.
Why are they always looking for the easy way out? Sell, 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 sell. And we've sold 400 to 500 state enterprises and destroyed all of them. The only few that survived, Movenpick Ambassador. Alright, tell me. Even Movenpick Ambassador collapsed. It had to take some efforts, in the third NDC government to revive it. Using some Arab funds and so on. Golden Tulip.
Yeah.
How did Golden Tulip survive? Now here it's called Lancaster. So how did it survive? It survived because the Libyans came and used state money and state power, took it over and ran it.
Yeah.
The Libyans that we sold to the Libyan government. And they came and saved Golden Tulip, which is now Lancaster. Which other ones survived?
Yeah.
Everyone that has survived, the history is there. And we are still misbehaving, we are still destroying the base of the national economy and so on. There are some things that I feel so very strongly about. This seizure of VALCO lands and the establishment of an industrial park. What does it mean? So if you want to establish an industrial park, you can't get any land in Ghana The only land you can get is the Falco land,
Right.
which has been acquired for a specific purpose, which is still relevant to our national development effort. That is the one you go and acquire and you establish an industrial park. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Master, I am tired, and I'm not the only one who is tired. So many people are tired, saying the same things over and over and over and over again, and nobody listens. Look, as for this allegation that Ibrahim Mahama is involved in so on, it's a ruse, okay? I am not surprised. Look, for a long period of time, people wanting to, attack the president, people wanting to create the impression that the president is involved in some nepotistic, enterprise and so on, would always attack Ibrahim Mahama. Ibrahim Mahama has become the fall guy and so on. I'm sure he's keenly aware of it, and I'm sure that he's not worried about it, and the facts will speak for itself. I mean, recently when he acquired this gold mine, he saw the hula balloon which was generated. It turned out that his bid was actually approved by the Akufo-Addo government and not the Mahama government and so on. That's a fact. In fact, Abu Jinapo, who was then Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, had to come up and say, oh, it was during my tenure and so on. But he will continue to be the fall guy all the time. That's the cross he has to carry. And he has to develop thick shoulders to be able to carry that cross. Yeah. You can't have your brother as president and not suffer any consequence at all, especially in the politics of a country like Ghana. You will continue to suffer some consequences. So Ibrahim should continue to carry his cross.
Okay. Collins, I'll bring you in, but before I do, let me just take a break. I beg you. So you're watching Good Morning Ghana Metro Television. Please stay with us.
And there they are. The squad is ready, lined up, ice cold, focused and prepared for national duty. Every bottle in position, every label shining with confidence. And here comes the selection. One bottle steps forward, picked from the squad, ready to deliver for Ghana. He takes the first sip. Oh yes, refreshingly hydrating. The whistle goes. The Black Stars are on the move. He breaks through the defense like flowing water. Beautiful control. He lines it up. He strikes. Goal! Ghana is awake. From the fridge to the field, Awake keeps you refreshed. Awake purified drinking water. One for life. Proudly supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600 360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking Publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Finding my dream apartment in just 2 days was a breeze with 7terragh.com. Looking for your next home, the perfect piece of land, or the best commercial property for your business? Are you worried about sending money home for property and finding nothing when you return? Well, worry no more. 7terragh.com is just a platform to find prime lands, perfect properties, or vibrant real estate development at the click of a button. 7terragh.com is your go-to property listing platform that allows you to register, list, rent, buy or sell, and connect with correct agents. With our AI-powered smart search, personalized dashboards, verified agent connection, and interactive property maps, all your property needs have been made easier. Check us out on 7terragh.com or contact us on 0302-998-246 or 0561 032 252. 7terragh.com, powered by MNC Properties.
Mommy, good morning.
Good morning, my son. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mom. How about you?
I'm fine.
Joe, I just saw your mom doing her usual morning routine. Like, it was just 2 weeks she underwent a major colon surgery.
Bro, see, my mom is doing perfectly fine, and we're all excited about it. It was minimally invasive surgery, and the recovery has been very fast.
Minimally? Hey! No, wait. What do you mean by that?
So they offered my mom a laparoscopic colon surgery. Laparoscopic colon surgery, which we accepted. It turned out it was equally safe with a very fast recovery time, and the cost involved too was very, very reasonable. She was discharged 3 days after the surgery, and you can see her, she's on her feet again.
3 days?
Just 3 days, bro.
Mean Tuber Hospital, First Ghana Colorectal Center, aim to serve a peculiar health need.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Chaco toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Chaco toothpaste. Kel Chaco toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, who be here, Samacha Sapapadia to a mammy manful. Kel Chaco's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man is swing, Nesansu Mama Hoto so a will beg you.
Kel Chaco toothpaste. Choose Kel Chaco toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Today's class is going to be an exciting one. Now, who can share an unforgettable moment in their life? Okay, Asempa.
I'd like to talk about my first time. It was her natural look, complemented by her favorite green silky apparel that caught my attention. I have to say, she automatically possessed me with her smile, which exposed her beautiful white teeth. That's not all, her enduring signature perfume could be smelled from afar. Madam, why do you look so surprised? My first time with her was special and irresistible. I'm talking about Cindy Rice. Cindy Rice can be found in selected supermarkets nationwide.
Cindy Rice, sweet aroma, great taste. This advert is FDA approved.
From the rich soils of Ghana, our farmers grow the finest ingredients. We clean, hand select, and carefully craft into bold, unforgettable flavors. And when you open our little bag of big taste, it's pure, bold, unforgettable flavor bursting in every bite. Enjoy the goodness, made with big care. This advert is FDA approved. And there they are. The squad is ready, lined up, ice cold, focused and prepared for national duty. Every bottle in position, every label shining with confidence. And here comes the selection. One bottle steps forward, picked from the squad, ready to deliver for Ghana. He takes the first sip. Oh yes, refreshingly hydrating. The whistle goes. The Black Stars are on the move. He breaks through the defense like flowing water. Beautiful control. He lines it up. He strikes. Goal! Ghana is awake. From the fridge to the field, Awake keeps you refreshed. Awake purified drinking water. One for life. Proudly supporting the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students? Look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600 360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits, happy smile.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Femi Kalika, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Femi once now.
Hey, that's you. Impruka. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the action.
Maybe this Sasso spray. Mr. Femi Sasso quell.
Yeah, go to my Sasso. Come on, Tom Preco.
Metro TV, Original TV, Original FM, and Metro Digital, under the auspices of the Office of the Chief of Staff, proudly present the Clean Conference 2026 under the theme Assessing Ghana's Progress Towards UN SDGs Agenda 2030. SDG 6, Clean Water and Sanitation, SDG 7, Clean Energy, and SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production. Friday, 21st August 2026, 9 a.m. at the City Conference Hall, University of Ghana, Legon, Accra. With just 4 years to achieve the UN SDGs 2030, how far has Ghana come? The answers begin with one national conversation, the Metro and Original Sanitation Conference, with the Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Debra. The Clean Conference, bringing together government, development partners, traditional authorities, industry players, academia, civil society, young people, and all Ghanaians. Change is not only in conference rooms, so there will be a cleanup exercise on Saturday, 22nd August 2026, also led by the Chief of Staff. Join thousands of volunteers for this massive cleanup exercise across the major streets of Accra. Metro Clean Conference, Wahuni Diema on Mine Tumpo.
Well, you're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Awudu Moro, and my guests are still here, Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr., who's a former managing editor of the Inside newspaper, and also Collins Adomako Mensah. He is MP for the Fija Kwabre North constituency, and also a former deputy energy minister. Now, yesterday I told you, not yesterday, just this morning, at the early hours of this morning, we experienced some power outages. It was almost nationwide. And GRIDCO actually issued a statement to explain exactly what happened. So we've been working the lines to get through to them to throw some more light, or to shed some more light on the statement that they've issued. Now, fortunately for us, a very good friend of mine was also with the Corporate Affairs Department of GRIDCO, Jifa Bampo. She's once a journalist, always a journalist. She's joined us on some phone to talk to us briefly about what exactly happened. And I want to believe that they have uncovered a bit more, since the time that he issued the statement. Jifa, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Good Morning Ghana.
Good morning, Moro. Good morning to your guests in the studio and to all your viewers.
I hope you're doing very well.
I'm fine. Thank you for asking.
It's been a very busy morning, isn't it? What have you been up to?
Oh, just trying to address this incident that occurred earlier at dawn.
And I can appreciate the pressure.
We're on it. It's part of the work, so right. We're on it.
Right. So what exactly happened? I mean, you've given us some idea, but what have you been uncovering since the issuing of this statement, which must have been around 6 a.m. thereabout? What else have you been uncovering?
So at 3:11 a.m. today, we had a system disturbance, and this led to a widespread outage across the country. So engineers have been working in the time since in an effort to restore power. So it's not just about transmission restoring power. We have to bring up the generating stations on stream, connect to them, and then do the bulk supply of power to ECG for onward distribution to consumers, domestics, businesses. So currently the work ongoing, which has been ongoing since the early dawn, has been to get the generating systems online so that we can transmit power, which is our mandate.
How badly damaged is this system we're talking about?
There is no damage. Okay. This is just a rare incident that has occurred. And because it is an unusual incident in the power system, it has to be investigated.
Right.
So simultaneously, as efforts are made to restore power, the investigations are ongoing, and so we'll have to be patient for that. But we sincerely apologize to the public for this incident that has occurred. We urge patience as we work to restore power, together with all the stakeholders in the power value chain. As soon as we are able to do that, power will be restored, and it's ongoing. I know some load had been picked from the Akunsubo Dam, but it will take us some time, and we will update the public as soon as we have more available information.
How far-reaching or widespread was this adverse effect?
I don't want to be specific in terms of the areas because I am not in the system control center, but it's been widespread enough to gain the needed response for us to issue a statement to inform the public that the reason there's this outage is because of this unusual event or incident. It's not typically the norm.
But what you can confirm, though, that this was nationwide?
Widespread, beyond Accra, certainly. Because we operate more than 7,000 kilometers of transmission lines. We have about 68 substations across the country. Many of them obviously are interconnected. That's why it's called the National Interconnected Transmission System, NITS. In simple terms, the national grid. And so if there is a major incident that impacts the grid, the fallout will be widespread. So that's what it is.
How regularly do you intend to keep us posted on what you've been doing thus far?
As soon as I have more information, we will share an updated press release. The purpose for the earlier press release at 6 a.m. was to try and as quickly as possible inform the public, because this happened at about 3:11 a.m. So we didn't want this to go beyond the time that people are leaving for work and the like. And that's why we worked quickly to try and put something out. Once there's additional updates, we'll provide it. But the engineers are working very, very hard to restore the system. We are genuinely sensitive to the needs of the country in terms or in respect of power. And so we are working hard to get the power supply up and running.
Do you smell sabotage?
No, sir. There is no sabotage anywhere, please. This is just an unusual incident. It is rare for us to have this kind of system disturbance that causes a widespread impact. So please, no sabotage, no rationing, none of those.
Is the BNI, the National Security, involved in the investigations, or this is just strictly a GridCo matter?
I'm not able to speak to that specifically at this time.
Okay. All right. I guess that Collins and Kwesi, is there any questions you have for Jifa, because she has to leave us? Okay. Guess. Okay. All right.
My classmates.
So Collins says greetings to you. Collins,
yes, we are classmates.
Oh yeah, he tells me. He says you're classmates. And
so good morning, Honorable.
Yes. He says hello back.
Yes, and also good morning to the other guest as well.
Yes, Uncle Kwesi.
The other guest, Jifa.
Yes.
Uncle Kwesi.
Uncle, that's Uncle Kwesi. That's Uncle Kwesi practicing in the background.
I didn't know it was Uncle. I didn't hear that.
Jifa, the other guest.
Oh, Uncle Kwesi, please. I didn't know it. I didn't know who else was in the studio.
I know.
I'm not watching the TV.
Yes. All right. It says you've been forgiven, so that's fine. We're good.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Jifa, thank you so very much, and have a good day.
We'll update as soon as we have anything more, please.
Please do. Thank you so very much. So that's Jifa Bampo. She's the manager, corporate affairs, the corporate communications. That's a GridCo. And I've also received this from Richmond, who is the Energy Ministry PRO. He says that please tell the public that GridCo's engineering teams remain on the ground working tirelessly to restore electricity to all affected areas. We're encouraged to report that progress has been made and power has already been restored to some areas. Yes, Jifa mentioned that. Restoration efforts continue in the remaining areas, and every effort is being made to safely and quickly restore service to every household which is without power. We understand the inconvenience this outage has caused and sincerely appreciate your patience, understanding, and cooperation during this time. Please be assured that restoring power to every affected customer remains our highest priority. You can also, okay, so I guess this one, first one is from Richmond, who is the Energy Ministry PRO. All right, let me also say that Metro TV, Original TV, and Original FM and Metro Digital are proudly presenting the Clean Conference 2026 that is under the auspice of the Office of the Chief of Staff, who is now Dr. Julius Deborah. Dr. Julius Deborah. Congratulations once again to Dr. Julius Deborah on this feat. It's an academic feat you have chalked. Well, we can only say that higher we go. Higher we go. And I believe this is just the beginning of greatest things to come. Let me read something that Professor Ebo Hinsing actually wrote about the feat that you've chalked. And I want to do this quickly, and then I can read the rest of the LPM that I have here. Oh, there's something yes, so he said, we visited the Department of Archaeology to take commemorative photographs marking this remarkable academic milestone, the attainment of a PhD in Museum and Heritage Studies. What a blessing and what an achievement worth celebrating. Congratulations once again, Dr. Julius Deborah. May this milestone mark the beginning of even greater accomplishment and an enduring contribution to scholarship, heritage, public service, and nation building. Dr. Julius Deborah, Chief of Staff, Republic of Ghana. This one is from Professor Robert Ebo Hinsing, who is one of the topmost marketing gurus Ghana and for the matter Africa has ever produced. Now, those of you who are arguing about what the Chief of Staff has read, it's neither here nor there. It's a PhD. Dr. Julius Deborah. Congratulations to you. Now, the date for this conference is Friday, 21st August 2026, 9 a.m. at the City Conference Hall, University of Ghana, Legon, Accra. With just 4 years to achieve the UN SDGs 2030, how far has Ghana come? The answer begins with one national conversation with Metro and Regional Sanitation Conference with the Chief of Staff, Honorable Dr. Julius Deborah. The Clean Conference, bringing together government, development partners, traditional authorities, and industry players, academia, civil society, young people, and all Ghanaians. Cleanup exercise changes not only in conference rooms, so there will be a cleanup exercise on Saturday, 22nd August 2026, also led by the Chief of Staff. Join thousands of volunteers for this massive cleanup exercise across the major streets of Accra. Metro Clean Conference. Wo ahoni die mo wo ahono die ma oman no etumpon. Yes, I got it. All right. Collins.
Yes, my brother.
You've heard about this Clean Conference, so you're hearing for the first time.
The first time.
Yes. It's a major event. Bryce has actually been saying. He said he hinted you last week about it, and
yes, right? Yeah.
Yes. The stakeholders are excited about it. It's happening this 21st of August 2026. I hope that you will be officially invited. You and Kwesi, I'm sure that you'll be there. We want to understand why we are where we are when it comes to our sanitation problems and what we can do going forward. You know, we've proffered some ideas and solutions here, but we're going to bring some other people to also tell us what they think we should do. And we want to answer the question on the 4 years that we have to achieve the UN SDGs. How far has Ghana come? So, yeah. Good idea?
Oh, absolutely. Why not?
Okay. All right.
I mean, you know, sanitation is an important subject.
Yeah.
And, what I'm worried about is the false narrative that we suffered the recent flood because of insanitary conditions. It's not true.
You mean there's no correlation?
There's none whatsoever. You understand? Anyway, it's okay.
Anyway. Collins.
Yes, so
yes.
I'm happy.
Valco.
I'm coming. The assurances from GIFA.
Yeah.
It's quite refreshing that it's not damaged. That was quite significant, and that I think is just on technical.
But the impression God was that it was damaged.
Yes. So that for me is quite refreshing. That the system itself is not damaged, and it's a very rare occurrence. And as you said, the engineers are working on it. I'm just hoping that as quickly as possible, we should be back on stream. Valco, you know, I'm from the right.
Yeah.
You know, for my ideology,
yes.
I'm a center-right person. My political lineage, and so
the private sector is the engine of growth.
Absolutely. So, we don't have too much issue with the private sector. I'm sure Ankwesi himself, in his narration, is not against the private sector. I have always held the view that the private sector has a significant role to play. But I also believe that there are some very strategic national assets that must necessarily be handled by the state in the interest of the general public, because the private sector mostly have a motive which is profit driven. So for very vital states agencies, I would prefer government leading that. Ghana Water, a very important and priceless product, water. Such institutions, for me, can be handled by the private sector. And then Ankwesi talked about tough skin, Ibrahim. And Ankwesi is the way we've done our politics in this country. Sometimes very, very vile and dangerous and very, very unfortunate. Most politicians have suffered this. And I recall former President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo was a victim of this constant linkage between himself and his family members owning businesses and transacting businesses in this country. We had a book called Japadie. I'm not too sure if, surprisingly, nobody's talking about the book any longer. And it was beautifully couched and written. And anytime there's an incident, they reference the book. And a whole society was christened the Achim Mafia. Very interesting. Today, I see people trying very hard also to link Mr. Ibrahim to his brother. And sometimes it's painful and it's difficult to take. In this case, I don't have absolutely no evidence to the effective capacity a lawyer to Mr. Ibrahim.
As a CEO of Gyadec.
Absolutely. Now the chief executive of Gyadec. And the linkage then started that, hey, he's been placed there strategically to ensure that the bauxite extractive industry are linked to this particular person. So yes, Ankwesi, I know Mr. Ibrahim has a tough skin, but I tell you, people have gone through a lot, and it's unfortunate. I must be very frank, it's unfortunate that the fact that your brother or your relative is in a certain position does not debar you from engaging in your own private businesses, especially when you go through the right processes. That for me is the catchword. Once you go through all the right processes, I don't think it should bar you from executing your private business. It's
because otherwise, what we're doing, and you're right, both parties are guilty of this. Actually, what then happens is that once you have a relative who assumes a certain political office, then it's like automatically you can't do government business. And that's not right. The person is Ghanaian too.
But I'm saying that it happened, and it was a huge conversation. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, presidential candidate, suffered same with his brother, the contractor. It's all over the place.
But recall, Collins,
all over the place.
Actually, in order not to sound as though I am laying blame or I'm apportioning blame, but actually, this thing got to a head under Mahama 1. You recall? Under Mahama 1, John Mahama 1 from 2013. Because I noticed you're not trying to say who did more, who did less, but both of them.
All I'm saying is that Mr. Ibrahim is suffering from this.
Yes. Remember, he suffered before.
Yes, he's going through it because it's become something that we do to our political space.
Yes.
And we accuse each other of involving in all kinds of things, and it becomes a little bit difficult at times. Valco. I was very young when I heard of Valco. At the time, it's Ghana electricity, I heard a lot of stories. I'm happy Ankwesi is giving us a certain background.
Yeah.
Ankwesi, the truth of the matter is that from what I know, I think plans are far advanced to bring in a private or a strategic investor.
It's almost a fait accompli.
Plans are far advanced.
They must be reversed.
Well, maybe. I'm saying that what I know is that plans are far advanced in this particular discussion. In fact, this whole ICU alarm sounding started some time ago. I'm sure you are aware when meetings began to start. Chief executives of state agencies traveling abroad to have discussions and all that. So plans are really, really far advanced in this whole process of bringing in a strategic investor to come and assist with the operations of VALCO. I have not seen the terms, but I am a little bit struck about the 70%. If you give 70% to a private individual, technically, what does it mean?
The person owns it.
He owns it.
You might as well give 100%.
Of course. I mean, if he owns 70%, he's going to control the board. He's going to control. I'm not too sure anybody who has a 70% interest will not be interested in chairing the board, having his own chief executive and all that. So, in all intents and purposes, this is clearly giving the company to somebody else to run. And then when there's profit, he gives you maybe your 30%. That's how I see it. I'm a little bit struck by the percentage that Ankwesi mentioned, the 70%.
There are two pieces of information as far as this is concerned. There's one that says that that's GIADIC is looking to offload 51% to the strategic investor. But the workers are saying no, what they have seen, what they know, which is on paper, is 70%. So is GIADIC's work against that of the workers?
I have not seen the document myself.
Because it's part of the petition they've actually...
Okay, I'm sure as time goes on, all these transactions maybe would have to come to Parliament for parliamentary approval and all that.
Yeah. But be that as it may,
at that point,
there's a conversation about giving majority shares to somebody.
Yes, 70% is quite on the high side. I don't know how much money the investor is bringing in.
Well, we need 600.
What is important in this kind of transactions is transparency. Clearly, for me, the principle of bringing in a private individual now is settled. The government has taken a decision on that, and I know discussions have gone on, and we're on the verge of
sign it off.
I have some information to that effect, and I'm not surprised. That is why the ICU is beginning to sound the alarm. Of course, ideologically, Ankwesi, everybody who's listened to him over the years has not been so excited about private participation.
Of course. He's been
over the years. He's been consistent about that.
And that's why I raised the issue of ideology in the beginning. But he thinks that, look, this matter is
been consistent about that. He's been very consistent about that. I'm saying that the decision to offload, for me, from what I know, has gotten to the climax. Now, in situations like that, what is important is transparency. It's very, very important. It is extremely important that every single detail in this whole transaction is made available to the general public for scrutiny. This is a state asset. At least for all I know, Ankwesi is now bringing in a very interesting revelation that documentations confirming that Ghana has the ownership now is in doubt.
Kaiser Aluminium.
Yes, from Kaiser. Because I recall some time ago we were told that we've acquired the interest.
Yes.
The state has acquired the interest. So from my thinking, until Ankwesi brought this latest information, VALCO now is in the hands of government.
Yeah.
And so it's the state assets. So if the state wants to offload part of its interest in an asset belonging to all of us, it's just fair that you open up and give us the full details. It makes it easier for think tanks, CSOs, parliament, other interested parties to make inputs into the whole discussion. That makes the discussion more open and more transparent than what we are seeing now. GIADIC is saying they are going to give 51%. Workers are saying no, what they are saying is 70%. That kind of contradiction makes it difficult for everybody to be comfortable. And so my appeal is for, if this is the decision of government, and this is the decision of government, government should come clean, open up the discussion. Let's have a very transparent and honest discussion about where we are at this particular point in time. If government does not have the money, liquidity, $600 million now to push into VALCO, and therefore we have to resort to a private individual coming in to assist. Let the terms be made public to everybody to scrutinize and analyze. And I'm sure at that point, there will be some clarity. Because he also brought out some options that are available to government. His point is that why go bring an individual to give you 600 million when we have an asset, almost 48 billion. Why don't we ride on this particular asset, go to these banks and have it, raise this amount of money, Some people will even ask, why not float it on shares? Why not go to the stock market? Ghana Stock Exchange. You know, get this SARS, all these finance companies to put together a paper. We know how viable bauxite is. And from all the documents we've cited, this is a very lucrative industry. Put it on the stock market. Let people show interest. Let Ghanaians own it. And I'm sure we'll be able to raise that amount of money. That's also an option that's available to governments. But be that it may, I am asking for transparency in this whole issue. From where I come from, ideologically, I am not essentially against a private participation. If that is going to help to bring more efficiency, quality of service and all that, I don't have any problem. He cited some examples, history, where we handed over state assets to private individuals and it didn't work. Yes, that's a fact. Some didn't work, but I'm not too sure that alone is enough to say we're stopping that process of engaging private sector in other government business. So I'm calling for transparency. Let's guide the VALCO. Let's be open about the transaction. And I'm sure when it is open and everybody begins to give their inputs, at the end of the day, we'll have a final document that will be acceptable to all Ghanaians.
I think that one institution that must also be speaking to this should be SIGA, the State Interest and the Governance Authority, because they also have oversight over some of these institutions.
Yes, they have oversight over all state all those state institutions.
So a few things we want to know. One, is it true, can they confirm from what they know, that the government intends to offload some shares of VALCO, or they're looking for a strategic partner? And what quantity or quantum are we looking at, and how much? Do you understand what I'm saying? What is SIGA's own?
Well, unfortunately, this is way beyond SIGA.
That's the point I was coming to make.
This is way beyond SIGA.
That's the point I was going to make. Decision.
Way beyond.
Decision.
How do you mean?
This is not a decision.
It's not a SIGA matter.
At that level. You see, what we need to appreciate is the place of an integrated aluminium industry in the whole industrialization program of Ghana, which is key to our survival as a state.
Yes.
You understand? So this is a big decision. There's a really big decision. And this is why it's important for us to take the right decisions and avoid pettiness, avoid personal interests and so on. Because our future sits on this. You know, well, I don't know. I mean, sometimes I get so worried. Sometimes I ask myself, policymakers, do they understand the institutions that they have been selected to manage and their relevance to the health of the whole country and so on? So I just wonder. You see, because if you're sitting on the VALCO board, you ought to know the place of VALCO, you know, and the integrated aluminium industry.
Within the economic, the whole economy,
The whole economy can sit on this. So you don't make decisions lightly. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
It seems to me that decisions are made so lightly, you know, I don't know.
Right. So let me. So Kwabena Sapon, Kwabena Sapon used to be a regular on Master Boiling Point on Manifest back in the day. Yes, and at the time I think it was then the host. Yes. Now he sent this message. He says the question of Ghana owning 100% of VALCO is not in doubt. If my memory serves me right, we were paid $17 million by Kaiser for their 90% shares during Kufuor's time. The other shareholder is Alqua. Is it Alqua also? It says they gave us 10% later on. My issue though with that is that
this was in the media, all of us said this. I'm saying that there's no documentation to support that.
Yes, obviously I want to, for instance, understand whether the right people have been asked the question about where the documentation for the how do you call it,
acquisition, the takeover
of VACO, which somebody should be answering that question.
But that document shouldn't be difficult to find.
Yes.
If indeed it did happen.
Yes.
That's the point Ankwesi is making.
Yes.
If indeed that happened,
so
these are documents that should be with even the possession of VACO.
Exactly.
At the Attorney General.
It's not with VACO, it's not with the sector minister, it's not with the presidency, it's not with every. It's something very strange.
Master, but it's not unusual. It's not unusual. I interviewed the Minister of Interior, Honorable
Muntaka Obar.
And he told me that on assumption of office, he was looking for contract documents on the renovation of the police hospital. They couldn't find it anywhere.
God, this is serious. Eh?
No, I'm telling you. I mean, I interviewed him. He said he assumed office. There were bills to pay and so on. And he was looking for the documents on the contract. They looked everywhere. They couldn't find it. Eventually, they came by some information and so on, which suggested or who showed that the contract sum had been overpaid by, I think, £48 million or so. I don't believe it. I mean, I interviewed him only 3 weeks ago. 3 or 4 weeks ago.
I see.
So this question of documentation and so on is not...
Uncle, I'm just saying we shouldn't countenance this. We shouldn't countenance this. We must not normalize it. If you have been given a job to do and you're supposed to be doing some documentation, we must make sure that you do that. If you don't do it, you must be punished. Because we can't continue like this. Anyway, so let's use the rest of the 20 minutes to briefly look at the budget. A lot has been said, so I'm not sure that we'd want to spend a lot of time discussing the media budget. Now, there's if you look at this custodian, yesterday the minority held some kind of a mini press conference, which was addressed by the former special assistant to Dr. Mahmoud Bami and also MD for Tano North, I believe, Dr. Gideon Boakun. It says and Collins Edujemfi is the reporter. It says that the deputy ranking member of Parliament's Finance Committee, member of Parliament for Tano North, Dr. Gideon Boakun, has argued that Ghana's improving macroeconomic indicators will mean a little unless they translate into jobs. And warning that economic growth without employment risks deepening public frustration. He states that the ultimate test of any economic recovery is whether it improves the lives of ordinary Ghanaians through employment, higher incomes, and expanded economic opportunities. Now, during a panel discussion on the 2026 media budget review presented by Finance Minister Dr. Kesla Tofos and the Tano North MP said the government cannot measure success solely by favorable fiscal and macroeconomic statistics while thousands of young people remain unemployed. A growing economy with unemployed youth is not growth, but a factory of frustration. According to him, while government has highlighted falling inflation, improving fiscal balances and stronger macroeconomic indicators, many young people continue to struggle to secure decent jobs despite completing their education. He maintains that an economy that grows without creating employment risks widening inequality and undermining public confidence in economic reforms. Dr. Boakun said the country's fiscal and economic policy should therefore be judged not only by headline growth figures, but their ability to stimulate private sector expansion, support entrepreneurship, and create sustainable employment for the youth. Collins, media budget review and
I mean, these are constitutional matters. The minister is enjoined by the constitution to come to Parliament half year. I think the Public Financial Management Act also enjoins him to come half year to give us basically an update of how things have panned out between first half of the year.
Right.
And because budgets are read in November, you normally will not get the full year outturns.
Right.
Whilst presenting the budget. So the mid-year is also an opportunity for the minister to give us the full, accurate, full year data on 2025. And then if there are any significant changes that have occurred within the first 6 months that has thrown his targets and his estimates off gear, it's an opportunity for him to also realign those issues. So basically that's what mid-year reviews are. Also to give us an update on major government policy initiatives and how far he's gone with them. You read Gideon Boakun's connection between the macro and the micro, and that the macro figures should at least translate to the micro level, which is something we all agree to. I don't think anybody is so excited just that inflation has come down when you go to the market and you are not having the effect of that. So there should be translation on the ground. You know, I always use my constituency as an example. I have 65,000 people, approximately. 60% of them are farmers. 40% of the 60% are cocoa farmers.
Okay.
So my constituency, really, the economy there is a farming economy.
Right.
And so anytime budget is read, I go straight to areas that may affect my constituents and how far government has implemented its policies to the benefit of my constituency. I know other constituencies have different dynamics in those areas. And so you can imagine in my constituency with the cocoa issues, it's really, really having an effect on my constituents. As of now, last week, I met some of the cocoa farmers who approached me and said, some people have received payment in response to the last release that was released by the cocoa board. Others too have not. So you can imagine the whole year, another year has begun, half year, he's not received any money from the cocoa that he sold to BDC. That is their economy. That is our economy. And so such a person, the flowery and beautiful macroeconomic indicators may mean nothing to him or her at that particular level, especially when the practice in the constituency is that they borrow against in anticipation of an increment in the prices of cocoa. And that's what they normally do. So by February, they go to the banks and use the current rates, which was at the time 3,300 or 3,500 to borrow in anticipation that by October, November, when the season starts, and normally the season starts with an increment in prices. And so for the person to be hit with a reduction rather to 2,500, which is a net loss of about 1,000 per bag, that is the economy in my constituency. The transport guys are threatening to increase transport fares. That is directly affecting my constituents because the farmers, they normally cut their products using some vehicles and all that. So that is their economy. But I must say that some positive things came out when he read the media. First of all, I was excited when he acknowledged the efforts of previous governments. I'm excited because I see a change, a gradual change in our politicking, where it is not always combative, but an admission of efforts made by previous governments and how far it has impacted current policies. And that for me was a very, very beautiful diversion from the norm that we know about. Yesterday, we concluded the debate on the IPP renegotiations.
Right.
And if you look at the reports, there was an acknowledgement of how the renegotiation started from previous governments and how it has continued to the benefit of the general public. And now we are making savings of about $250 million. That, for me, is a refreshing style of politics that we are having in this country. Of course, if you look at the media review, statutory payment, there's been a significant improvement in statutory payment. That for me is a very good highlight, that as an opposition person, I should not always be opposing, but it's also good for me to acknowledge some of the good things that have been done.
Right.
I've seen that common fund payment has been okay. I've seen NHIA payment also has been quite consistent, which is good. And I think I have to commend them for that. But unemployment has been a big issue. All the major flagship programs that the government touted in the 2025 budget, that in their view was to tackle unemployment, we're hoping that by 2026, half year 2026, we should be receiving some concrete figures as to how those policies have translated to job employment. So the Ejumera program, the entrepreneurship program, the Coders program, the oil plantation program, the Nkukongwe program, and all those programs, 24-hour economy. We're hoping that this media review will give us some concrete figures. Unfortunately, the reports we are getting, even from the Statistical Service, and you just read this morning, point to the fact that those policies are yet to translate into job creation for the youth. I'm not too sure how many coders have been trained as of now. Not too sure how many people have benefited from the Jumeirah program. I listened to the chief executive, Mr. Eric J, my very good friend, who indicated that he had received on Nasempa, he had received so far half year 20 million Ghana cedi, which is about less than 1/3 of what is supposed to be given to him for him to really work out that Jumeirah program, which in effect was to help reduce the unemployment figures. That we are also not seeing that connection. And I'm sure government is listening to the debates. A lot have been centered on job creation, job creation, job creation. And the fact that we didn't hear more of that in the media review. I hope that government is listening, and subsequent budget in November, they will take into account all the comments that have come up and then help us to create more jobs for the people. On energy side, I think two significant things were mentioned.
Right.
One is the GPP2, which is the new gas processing plant, and the 1,200 megawatts power plant to be established. The difficulty I have with that is that I know Ankwesi is not too excited about private participation. Government has set up an SPV, which we opposed. We believe very strongly that VRA and Co should be able to handle these transactions. But government has set up an SPV, a special purpose vehicle, created a company to spearhead both major transactions, that's the 1,200 megawatts and the GPP2, which is the gas processing plant 2. I have issues with that. I feel that we have very competent state agencies who have demonstrated over the time to have done this before. VRA is handling bigger power plants, and I'm sure they should be able to do this. But unfortunately, I see that they've been sidestepped in this whole process. Parliament on its own has also not been briefed properly, even on the energy committee that I serve on. The only report we've seen in the media review is an indication that they've been able to identify the area that they intend to put the 1,200. That for me is not enough information for us to chew on. And so, by and large, these are the issues that I took away from the media review, and I'm just hoping that the policies will translate to the ordinary Ghanaian. I'm sure you've done some interviews in the market. I saw TV3's interview in the market where almost all the comments were negative. People think business have slowed down in spite of all the beautiful macroeconomic indicators. That is where I think government must work on, so that we can have positive macro figures and also positive micro figures.
How was it?
Well, I mean, I think first of all, there's the need for clarity on the exercise which has been conducted in Parliament. From some of the comments, you get the impression that government has presented a budget and is being discussed. That is not the case. What happened last week is not the presentation of a budget, but is the review of the budget which had already been presented for the year 2026.
Which was in November last year.
Exactly. Now, we have to understand why now we have mid-year reviews of budget. In the past, it wasn't like this. I mean, there was a time when the Minister for Finance would actually address a press conference and give indications of how the year ahead is going to look like. And he even went to the extent of determining the price of charcoal, the price of milk, and so on. We've passed those years.
The price of petrol.
This was Kwesi
time. Yes.
Oh, you know, so, you know. We've passed that stage.
Longest serving finance minister, eh?
Okay. Now, we've come to the point where we've come to realize that the assumptions underpinning the budget may not last for 1 year. Okay? You can have a budget. Donald Trump may then decide to go and attack Iran and mess everything up for you and so on. So it will impact on revenue generation, it will impact on expenditure and so on. So the purpose of this mid-year review is simply for the Minister of Finance to come and say, look, these were the underlying assumptions. These assumptions have changed as a result of these circumstances. And therefore, we may need more money to realize the objectives of the budget. or that things have so fundamentally changed that the revenue that we were expecting has doubled. So we have excess revenue. Parliament, what do you think we should do with the excess revenue that we have generated? And so on. You understand? So this is one of the reasons why we have mid-year reviews now. Now, the other reason simply is that now also the budgets are not read in even December, they are not read in January. They are read mostly in November. Which means that by the time they are reading the budget, they will not have all the figures for the preceding year. Okay? All the facts will not be available. So again, some assumptions will have to be made and so on. It is believed that by the mid-year, June, July, all the figures for the previous year would have been available, and it will be then possible to have a realistic view of the past and the year in which we are. That's why we have mid-year reviews of the budget. Tomorrow, whoa, wow, I've been watching what is happening in Parliament. Why do I say I'm shocked? Why doesn't explain it? Mid-year review of the budget. Have you seen what is happening there?
But that's just politics.
Eh?
That's just politics.
No, what is happening there? Maybe if you explain.
Please. Don't say that again. That's just politics.
That's what our politicians do to us all the time.
What? I can't believe it. They're doing a mid-year review of the budget. Prominent parliamentarians get up, they speak through the microphone. They want us to hear. And it's about who is going to go to Sound prison next.
Oh. That's okay.
What?
Which one?
Some of the things that I said.
Who's going to go to prison in this debate? In this debate?
Yes.
The minority
leaders. All of you on the majority side, get ready. We are going to go to prison.
Oh no, but that is not a comment on the. That is the. It's not. I thought you were talking about the debate. The debate started yesterday.
Yeah, the debate started. No, he's talking about the comments that
followed
the day the media was.
Okay.
Presentation was.
Master, I'm sitting in my office and watching television, and I fall sick immediately.
Hey.
The level of leadership, the things which were being said, reduction of the whole mid-year review of the budget to filing appeal for Wontumi, and so on, and other tangential issues. Please, those of you we have elected, to go into Parliament and to advocate for us, to safeguard our interests and so on, please mature, grow up, and don't take us for granted.
Uncle Z, well, when you finish, I
can stop for you to continue. I don't have a problem.
Today, your words are a little bit harsh for me.
So when we say
we should grow up,
when we say that you should go and do pinpoint any particular, but you think it's him.
It's not about I think it's him.
It is him.
It's about when you talked about, because when you started, I thought you were talking about the debate that started yesterday.
That's what I also thought.
Because yesterday there was nothing related to Wontumi. The only time somebody spoke about Wontumi was Mr. Afenyo Markin's initial remarks after the presentation. And your description as I think is a little bit harsh. And if you look at the practice in Parliament,
Master, I am not the person to sit in judgment over how you see things. So if you think that my comments are a little bit harsh, that's your view. But if we elect you, hold on. If we go and stand in the sun, some stand in the sun for hours to vote for you. Some people died in the process of voting. They were shot and so on. And then you go and sit in Parliament. And there's a mid-year review. And all you care about is some of the statements that I heard from Parliament. That's a problem.
You may have your disagreement with some of the comments, but
don't you think that there's a problem?
No, Collins,
in all honesty,
in Parliament,
yes.
The practice in Parliament is that the leader is not enjoined to just speak to what was read. No, he's the leader.
If you were the leader, that's how you would have spoken.
No, Ankwesi. No.
If you were the leader, would you have spoken like that?
Even the budget itself, they make allocation to the justice system. The budget makes allocation to the justice system. It is our money that runs the courts. So if a leader thinks that there's a problem with a certain judgment, why can't he make it on the floor? He has absolutely every right to make it.
And his solution,
you may have issues with the timing. But I don't think the leader...
And his solution to the problem with the funding of the justice system is that, look, if you jail us when we come, we'll jail you more than you jailed us.
We welcome the reforms.
Masa,
just a second.
Masa, please.
We welcome the reforms by the finance minister. No, first of all, let me start from here. I commend the finance minister for acknowledging some of the digitalization reforms introduced by the previous PP administration. That's the minority leader. We welcome the reforms by the finance minister, and for the first time, he has done something patriotic by acknowledging the digitalization reforms we introduced in government payments today. He has acknowledged them.
The purpose of this.
We commend you for acknowledging the MPP. We commend you, but you can do better. Tell your government to free all political prisoners. Wontumi deserve justice. I commend you for the budget, but on Wontumi, trouble. If you don't release Wontumi, we'll come and put you in jail.
So what was the purpose of reading this?
Oh no, I just wanted to put it in context. Our viewers know exactly what he said, for which you have an issue with, so they can follow the argument.
A small part of what he said. Very small part of what he said. But even this one, it's problematic. You understand? And to be honest with you, one of the best reviews of the media review and so on is the one I've heard from Collins. Very mature, very focused and so on. That's what we expect of our parliamentarians. But sometimes, Collins, please admit it. Why? You know that what I'm saying is true. Why? Why? You think that they will beat you if you go to parliament?
Oh, no.
Nobody will beat you.
Oh, please. No.
So just admit.
No. Who beats me?
Has a problem with the timing of the comments.
But I'm saying that
some of the comments really on the media review of budget.
In parliament, when leadership rise up on that,
this is normal.
I'm telling you, when leadership. And most pertinent issues are brought to the fore.
Okay, most pertinent. One of the most pertinent issues, as I heard, is that, if you jail us, when we come, we will jail you more than you have jailed us. So don't jail us so that when we come, we also not jail you. Is that a responsible statement for anybody to make?
Ankwesi.
A country in which the citizens say they are demanding accountability. Is that a responsible statement to make? Tell me, if you jail us, when we come, we will jail you more than you jailed us. So don't jail us at all. Collins, I'd like to hear your comment on this. This is a very responsible statement to make. In a parliamentary debate on the media review of the budget.
It was not a debate.
Well,
this is where the initial
commentary, whatever.
In response to the
no matter what you have done, don't jail us. So that when we come, no matter what you have done.
Is that what leader said?
What did he say?
No. You are saying it. You are saying that. Leader says. No, but you are saying that. Leader says.
And you have.
Leader says that. You don't jail us, so that we also don't jail you. I don't think he said that. Did he say that?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Let me tell you what. Let me tell you what.
Don't bring yourself into the family. you don't deserve to be there.
But he didn't say that.
Okay, so I plead the fifth. Minkevi. You see why I read it? Yes.
But you see,
yes, sir.
I was very careful.
Yes.
Not to be mentioning names.
Yes, I know, for very good reasons.
Collins straight away has mentioned the name.
No, Mankwesi, what you said, you don't even need to mention the name. our viewers are watching.
It's obvious.
Because yesterday, the debate, Tumi's name did not appear in the whole debate.
I'm not talking about yesterday.
That's the point. The very day, the only person who made a comment from our side was minority leader, which is the practice that when the minister finishes, the minority leader will make a brief comment and then the majority. So your comments are well situated, and everybody watching knows where you are tilting towards. So my mention the name was just to put it in perspective, and also to respectfully disagree with your choice of words. You know, I and of course, as you said, I have the right to also disagree with you.
No, of course,
yes.
Of course,
and
of course.
I thought your choice of words were a little bit too harsh to our leader. But as I said, the practice in Parliament does not bar.
Don't forget that I'm a voter.
Absolutely.
And don't forget that the 275 of you who sit in Parliament are supposed to protect my interests.
Yes.
I have to be satisfied with the work you're doing.
Absolutely.
As a Ghanaian.
Of course.
You understand?
Of course.
Okay. So when you go there,
of course,
and you do some of the things that you do there, we feel sick. We feel sick just watching you.
The Angus, you don't feel sick. We don't want you to feel sick. You may not disagree, you may not agree with some of the things some people say, but don't feel sick, Angus. We need you alive.
All right. This is Uncle Sid's take on the presentation of the mid-year review of the budget, and I'll just read a few messages, and I guess that would.
And I thank him for the kind words too.
Yes. He says you have delivered a review.
No, your review was
was refreshing.
It was refreshing.
Refreshing.
I mean, one of the few times I've heard somebody from the opposition saying that, there were some good things about the budget. These are the good things about the budget. But if government were to focus attention on this and that and that and that, it could have been better.
Right.
So, very mature. Very mature. I mean, and honest. And I really admire the contribution that you made this morning.
Okay.
But not for some of your people.
Okay. So Peter T from Shukura says, good morning to all in the studio. I think it's our time we learn from our past mistakes. It seems we always wait for disasters to happen before we begin rushing to solutions. We were told after the collapse of the first building at Averno that immediately the debris were collected. We were told to see the second one also pulled down. But here we are today. Do we want to see another death before taking the action? Or is it because of no curfew that always comes as a result of some of these disasters? We should stop the lackadaisical approach and let's be proactive. My name is Peter T from Shukura. And this one here, inauguration of the MP National Elections Committee. Okay. All right, so this is actually a statement. This is not a message per se. So, inauguration of the MP National Elections Committee, the acting national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Chairman Bute, has officially inaugurated the National Elections Committee of the party. The committee will be chaired by Honorable Frederick Opariansa, with Honorable Abinose Asare serving as secretary. The mandate of the committee, among other things, is to plan, organize, and superintend over the process leading to the National Conference for the election of national officers of the party, as well as the conduct of the elections. The committee is composed of 1. Honorable Frederick Opariansa, Chairman, Honorable Abinose Asare, that's the secretary, Mr. Evans Nemako, member, Madam Oboshisai Kofi. Hey, by the way, I've heard from her in a long time, or heard of her in a long time. Member, Honorable Antonabe Fakabu, who is a member, Honorable Salam Ama Apienim Damata, who is also a member, Eric Nori, Mr. Eric Ntori is also a member, Mr. Frank Davis is also a member, Ashanti Regional Chairman member, to assume office upon the conclusion of the Ashanti regional elections. The party extends its congratulations to the committee members and express confidence in their ability to discharge their responsibilities with integrity, fairness, transparency, and professionalism in the best interest of the New Patriotic Party. And is issued by the office of the acting national chairman, New Patriotic Party. How's Stephen Intim doing? Stephen Intim? It's been a while, eh? Okay. All right, so this one here says that the MP member of parliament should educate their communicators who are on social media lying that President John Dramani Mahama is giving voucher to his brother Dr. Ibrahim Mahama. No amount of hatred and propaganda by the MP will bring down Dr. Ibrahim Mahama. Good morning to the good people of Chiriponi. And it says, bring back Zoom Lion. Kwabena Sapon is back. He says, it did not happen. Why are the Americans not at VALCO? You all know that we did not nationalize it. So what will give us the control of VALCO? Note that the takeover happened about 20 years ago. Records may be in the archives. Musa Bata from Asawasi says that I absolutely agree with Mr. Kwesi Pratt. The prudent management of the economy under Dr. Atufo and his team is restoring fiscal discipline, reducing wasteful expenditure, and improving Ghana's economic outlook. The successful mid-year budget review, including the recorded surplus without additional funding, deserves commendation. Every right-thinking Ghanaian can see that the economy is being turned around. Thank you, Mr. President, for the reset agenda. Best wishes, Dr. Amobo Afo, aspiring National Vice Chairman of the NDC. Okay, now, okay, Abdul Razak, thank you. I've seen your message. Jude from Australia says, tell Akwesi that we're all tired. Why? They will never listen. Hence, 69 years down the line, we're still using hydropower and not looking forward to cheaper electricity. God help our homeland, Ghana. Okay, I guess that, okay, all right. So I guess that would end it here because our time is actually up. And I want to say a big thanks to you, Mr. Kwesi Pratt. Today you took me out to say today I'm not a member. I should leave your matter between the two of you. So I did just that. So thank you for taking me out. Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr. is former managing editor of the Inside newspaper, a veteran and a seasoned journalist, also an elderly statesman, also MP for the good people of the Ifija Kwabra North. He has established such a bond with them. They like him. He likes them back. He loves them. They love him back. I think he's probably going to be the Mugabe of that constituency. Not because of his name, but because of his deeds, his accomplishments, and his performance. Doing such a fantastic job. Collins, thank you very much for joining us. At some point, he was a deputy energy minister as well, and very, very fantastic gentleman. My name is Audu Moro. I say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Let me do this. I beg you. And it just needs just 10 seconds to do this. This is extremely important because it's a paid for live presenter mention. So it's about MNC. Good. So MNC Group, totally reliant. Why? Because they are into minerals, food, commodity trading, real estate development, general logistics, procurement, management, consultancy, investment advisory, import and export. They have head office in East Legon, Accra, Ghana. They also have offices in Dubai, Guangzhou in China, Johannesburg in South Africa, and Italy, Germany. They're everywhere. They will help you to connect your markets and also to drive your business growth with tailor-made solutions to meet your needs. So just call them on 0302-998-246, 0302-998-246. Thanks. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Metro TV, Original TV, Original FM, and Metro Digital, under the auspices of the Office of the Chief of Staff, proudly present the Clean Conference 2026 under the theme Assessing Ghana's Progress Towards UN SDGs Agenda 2030. SDG 6, Clean Water and Sanitation, SDG 7, Clean Energy, and SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production. Friday, 21st August 2026, 9 a.m. at the City Conference Hall, University of Ghana, Legon, Accra. With just 4 years to achieve the UN SDGs 2030, how far has Ghana come? The answers begin with one national conversation, the Metro and Original Sanitation Conference, with the Chief of Staff, Honorable Julius Debra. The Clean Conference, bringing together government, development partners,